Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics vs. Non-Classics, episode number 966, and Doubleshot number 860. I have at least two DC trades, one focusing on a member of Justice League, the other one focusing on a member of the Suicide Squad. First up, it is a storyline that led the writer of the book to leave DC Comics. And as far as I know, he hasn't come back since his storyline wrapped up. This is Superman Volume 1. What? Price tomorrow. This collects the first 6 issues of Superman Volume 3, written by the ever-awesome George Perez, artwork by Nicola Scott, and Jesus Moreno and Trevor Scott. The cover art here is done by George Perez and Brian Buccellato. Yep. Now, why do I think this why was this storyline the one that basically drove George Perez to leave DC Comics? Because when you read it, it feels like very inconsistent, basically, the whole entire book. I don't blame that George Perez. What I've read, the problem why the storyline turned out the way it is because of a heavy editorial interference with this book. Yes, the story I've heard is that he was given inconsistent reasons for the constant rewrites of this book, like, is the Kents alive? And the fact this takes place 5 years after, well, the first arc of Action Comics. Yep. The thing starts out very unusually with the destruction of the Daily Planet building, though it's the original one. Yes, the one basically that print newspapers instead of replaced with a shiny new building. Oh yeah, and apparently Superman doesn't like this very much either, not even Clark Kent. And Morgan Edge bought the place, and we also see that in this continuity, Lois and Superman are not married. Nope. Yeah, it was simply just doesn't happen here. When Clark tries to ask out Lois on a date at her apartment, there's a man named Jonathan Carroll there. A guy who, after this arc, only appeared once. Yes, once. And that was basically during the aftermath of Hell on Earth. That was the last time anybody saw this guy. I mean, the guy only appeared like 2 or 3 times, and that was it. And apparently he's supposed to be Lois's boyfriend. This relationship went absolutely nowhere. What was his purpose being there? Now, I don't know if this was Perez's. I don't think this is Perez's idea. I don't think he even liked the whole idea of Lois with somebody else, aside from Superman. Now, a lot of people, I do agree. The look of the costume, I don't have a really big problem with. Yes, it has some unnecessary lines. That's Jim Lee for you. Yeah, Jim Lee is the one who designed this new costume. But I do agree with the sentiment that it should not have been Kryptonian armor. He's Superman. He does not need to wear frickin' armor. And plus, he has impenetrable skin. Why doesn't he wear frickin' armor? Yes. And also, I do agree with the recurring joke about the collar thing. Yes, this is something Jim Lee had a lot of characters, mostly just Superman, Green Lantern, Aquaman had this, but not every single character. Also, they gave Flash a chin strap, which that didn't make any sense. I don't think they gave one to Batgirl, but they gave one to Flash for some reason. I think even Cyborg had one. Wonder Woman had this sort of necklace that kind of made me think, oh yeah, maybe she got a collar too. And of course, she also had this armband as well. Not just her gauntlet, but also around her arms as well. But look-wise, it's fine. I mean, the S is pretty much the right shape, though they did have the S in the back of the costume, though the S is black. Yeah, this costume, the S is black. For the original costume, the S that's on the cape is actually supposed to be yellow. Here it's black. I'm not sure why they decided to change that for. At least you can say, yes, this is a Superman costume. Yeah, he doesn't have the red underwear. Fine, whatever. At least you can say it kind of would have been there. Yeah, but they had like a little. If you look very closely at, there's a little bit of red line, like on to sort of break up the coloring of blue for the outfit. So my guess is that's Jim Lee's nod to the red underwear that Superman had to basically get rid of until Action Comics 1000 when he got it back. Though they did have the post-crisis Superman, also known as the pre-Flashpoint Superman, show up, and when he first showed up, he did wear the red underwear suit. Yeah. This storyline is very confusing. Like there's some alien invader happen. There's an alien imposter for Superman in this storyline. There's a Superman. I appreciate though Perez is a fantastic at writing Superman pretty competently, and he writes him to be a pretty good superhero. And yeah, I do disagree with how the military is written. Yeah, the military, man, they are basically over exaggerating how the military is supposed to be. Oh yeah, this is a matter of national security. Superman, stand down. Superman's like, hell no, I'm not listening to you. I'm taking this guy out of the city, so I'm turning Metropolis into a battleground. Yeah, something Zack Snyder did Man of Steel to turn Metropolis to a freaking battleground. And Superman fought his doppelganger and won. And he saved through the ashes and into the sun. Of course, he's going to continue to protect Metropolis. Yeah, so you can kind of say Perez basically has sort of, if you read this, the way Superman himself is written, it feels as though Perez basically kept the spirit, like the ideals of how Superman is supposed to act. Yep. Though, I'm sure he probably disagreed with the whole thing of him having armor, which, in my opinion, like, I agree with this. The whole idea of him having armor is completely stupid. He has impenetrable skin. Why does he wear armor for? I don't know. It's particularly very bizarre. Also, you have Supergirl shows up in here for some reason. Oh yeah, she fought aliens in New York City. That probably happened in the first arc of her run. I've only reviewed just like volume 3 of the run. For the story itself, it's not bad, but it's just okay in my opinion. Just okay. My friend Titty is not really a big fan of this run at all. Oh no, he does not like this run at all. But like I said, I don't blame Perez for this. I blame his editor for the problems with the storyline. Yeah, the fault lies with the editor for why the storyline sucked. And this is from Perez's perspective, which I kind of agree. I'm going to give this book roughly an 8 out of 10. It does have really fantastic artwork. Yes, Nicola Scott herself does a fantastic job with this artwork. Heck, the covers are so good. And I don't blame Perez for how the book was written. No, that's all the editor's fault. But most people can agree, if anybody reads this, the high point of the storyline is the artwork. It is fantastic. Yep, and just a start for Superman. Though Perez would leave, and the book would hand out briefly for about 6 issues to Dan Jurgens and Keith Giffen, and then Lobdell took over the book. Now, I did look at my YouTube channel. I actually, thanks to reviewing this, I have effectively one trade left to review that collects issues from not the most recent volume before the book ever launched last year, the one that started in 2011. I reviewed, as of right now, almost every single trade that collects issues in this volume, except for one. I have not reviewed Volume 5 yet. Nope, I have not. Excuse me. So let's move on to something that's actually published in 2015. This is Suicide Squad Most Wanted, Deadshot. This collects the Deadshot stories from Suicide Squad Most Wanted. I think, if I remember correctly, it was a 6-issue miniseries. Yeah. Yep, 6 issues. Yeah, this just contains his stories. This is written by Brian Mucciolato, and artwork in here is by one artist, Victor Bagarvik. The artwork, basically, for the series, and the cover art here is done. The cover art for this trade is done by Corey North. I should point out that this is actually the third Deadshot series in a way. The first one was published back in the 80s by John Ostrander. He wrote the first one. It's really, really good. And of course, the second one came in the 2000s, where it was written by Crystal Gage. That was a pretty decent book, though that book is noteworthy for introduction of Deadshot's daughter Zoe. And of course, this is the first one since that one. Yep. And in this storyline, it's revealed a little bit of Deadshot's backstory, where apparently he grew up with an abusive father who was a drunk, and he tried to kill him, but he ended up accidentally killing his brother Eddie. I should also point out, though, Eddie was also the name of his son from pre-Flashpoint. There's no mention of him having a son here, just that he has a daughter. Yep, his mother wants nothing to do with him at all, because the fact that she doesn't recognize him as her own son, because she always sees him as the guy who killed her son Eddie. So yeah, and then like he really wants to go and kill his father because he hates his father so much. Waller basically tells him no, so sends him on a assignment with the guy who was supposed to be his replacement, a guy who wears a car, and of course he later shown to reviewing when he shows constantly this guy, he's supposed to be Deadshot's replacement. Oh yeah, in case what happens to him, yeah, Deadshot kills him. Yep, he kills him. Though he meets him with his father later, his father just dies of natural causes before he gets a chance to shoot him. And his mother, who is just basically like, you were supposed to be our mother to protect us. You did nothing. And you know what he did? He takes his little wrist shooter and shoots her in the head. Luckily enough, this is not shown gory. It's sort of shown a silhouette with a bullet going through her head. Not like bullet, basically just pow and splat. Thank God show it from the side though, because I think even the artist knows this is disgusting. Probably, I think the reason why they did this way is because I think DC did get some backlash for how they killed Ted Cord back in 2006 with the one shot Countdown to Infinite Crisis, where he was killed in a very gory fashion. This is less gory than that. Yep. And of course, he gets to take on some of his members of Suicide Squad. Also include the Cheetah, who's currently not on the Suicide Squad, as far as I remember. Yeah. The only reason why I think they actually did this series, this particular miniseries for him, anyways, is because of the movie. Yeah, Suicide Squad was like, okay, we gotta give Deadshot comic. Okay. Now this is published as far as a split book. Now this was actually the second story in the book for Suicide Squad Most Wanted. The first story was Katana. Katana was supposed to have a miniseries called Cult of Cobra. That miniseries was published, but part of Suicide Squad Most Wanted, because DC really wanted to tie into that movie so badly. They want to have movie tie-in, so they said combine that with another miniseries with Deadshot, because of Brian Bucciolo, a guy who, as far as I know, has never written Deadshot before, but he does a pretty decent job writing him in here. Yeah, and well, of course, he makes a deal with Waller that he gets to kill his replacements in exchange for still continue seeing his daughter. And of course, keeping secret from her the fact that he's a member of the Suicide Squad. Which, I don't think Waller has a problem with that. No, especially since she's a parent herself. Though her kids want nothing to do with her at all. Nope. Oh yeah, and it was revealed in the most recent film, she became a grandmother. And apparently she gets a chance to see her granddaughter. Doesn't get a chance to hold her granddaughter, but she gets a chance to see her. Yep. So yeah. So the lie is that she tells Zoe Lawton that Deadshot is going to serve his country. So he gets back to it, and of course runs to Harley Quinn. Now I should point out in the I'm Glass run, she and Deadshot had sex in a bathroom. Not kidding. That seriously happened in the book. Yeah, Adam Glass did that for some reason. I have no idea why he did it for. He just did. Yep. So he just basically is given like a baseball mitt and a baseball. And that's it. It's a pretty good miniseries. We give this book a 9 out of 10. Pretty good book. Not much rather home about when it comes to Deadshot, but it's a pretty good miniseries. Yep, so that's it for this particular review. I have 2 videos coming. One, of course, to review the newest episode of One Punch Man and the newest episode dub release for Fairy Tail. Okay, but see you next view. Bye.